Hi boys, girls and families. My name is Miss Laura and I am the Director of Family Ministry and Christian Education at Grace United Methodist Church in Gaithersburg. I am so happy to be with you again. It seems like we had a long break from each other. Let's try that again. Technical difficulties. So, it seems like we had a long break from each other. So that leads me into my announcement that we are going to be meeting together on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursdays at 5 o'clock. So Tuesdays at 5, Wednesdays at 5 and Thursdays at 5. And on Wednesday, it's going to be an engage cozy moment. So we're going to be sharing a book together in a cozy moment. All right, so let me make sure I am not muted here. Not quite sure how to do that. Let me try. All right, well, we'll carry on and we'll see what we can do from here. Right, today, we're going to switch things around and we are going to have the animal of the day first. So we're going to bring those in because they're squeaking away in the other room. So let me prop you up properly so you can see the animal of the day. Let's make my way in right now. Thank you. Hi. I have Cadbury. Say hi. Do I have Cadbury or Peep? I have Peep. Okay, Cadbury's peeping over there. Right, so the sound. Okay, this is Cadbury, sorry. This is, say hi. Hi. One of our new little ducklings. And tomorrow we'll show you the other one. The other one's just been taken outside. Are you saying peep, peep, peep? All right, say bye-bye. There we are. Now that was one of our ducklings. I promised that I would bring them in to you. So tomorrow I will bring in the other one. They don't like being separated, so we made sure they got out quite quickly. All right, let's go on to our story. So today we are going to be reading a story called, well, I'll be telling you a story from the Bible. We're titling it Come to Breakfast. And it's about when the disciples cast their net out into the sea. And Jesus, well, let's just see, shall we? Let's see what Jesus does. It's a miraculous story. All right, are we lined up here? Let's line up a little bit better so you can see the board I have here. So my son, Maxwell, has been very creative and he drew some pictures that we are going to be using in our story today. I apologize for all the technical difficulties. I'm using a different piece of equipment today. All right, that's better. The story I'm going to read today is from this book called the Bible Storybook. So it's a Bible story, so it originates from the Bible. But this is a Bible storybook that has brought stories for children out of the Bible. And this book is used in our Sunday schools at Grace Church. So the children get to hear these on Sundays at Grace Church. And the one we're going to read today is called Come to Breakfast. So see the pictures here, boys and girls? This is what I am going to be reading to you. But instead of looking at the pictures in the book, we are going to be doing our own story right here. And thank you to Maxwell for drawing the pictures for me. So, let's start with the disciples, shall we? So Peter, who's one of the disciples, let's get Peter right here. Here's Peter. So thank you, Maxwell, for drawing Peter. So Peter said to his friends, I want to go fishing. It's a beautiful day. Let's go fishing. And so his disciples said, let's go too. We'll come with you. It'll be wonderful. So they got their boat. Let's get the boat on here. In the boat. And they put their boat on the water, and then the disciples got into the boat. There's one disciple. There's Peter. And here's James. Let's get James in the boat. And here is Thomas. Let's get you in the boat, Thomas. And so all night long they stayed together and they were fishing in their boat on the sea, but they didn't catch any fish. Look at this. They had an empty net. You see that? An empty fish net. And so they were very disappointed, of course, because could you imagine being outside all night and all you want to do is catch a few fish and you don't catch any? And in those days, fishing was their business. That's what they did. Like your mummies and daddies might go to work in an office or in a hospital, or, you know, there's lots of different jobs that people do. Now, fishermen, that was their job. And so catching fish was extremely important to them, and that's how that they got their dinner onto the table, and that's how they got paid, really, is fishing and catching fish. So if they fished all night for hours and hours, it's very disappointing if you don't catch anything. It's very important to them that they do. So when they had this empty fishing net, they were all so sad. And then all of a sudden, they looked out, and on the beach, they saw this man on the beach. So let's put you down here. So we have them fishing, and then on the beach they see a man standing there, and he was waving to them. And they said, "Who's that? Who's that? I don't know who that is." And then the man called out to them and said, "If you cast your net onto the other side of your boat, so if you move your net over there, you will catch so many fish. You'll catch tons and tons of fish." And the disciples said, "Oh, I don't know about that, because we don't know who this person is, but let's give it a go." So they moved their net over to this side of the boat. And you know what happened? It filled with fish. It filled up to the top with fish. In fact, they had so many fish they could hardly carry them in. The net almost broke. You see that? So the disciples could hardly pull it back in. And then all of a sudden, Peter looked at the man on the beach and said, "I know who that is. That's Jesus." And Peter was so excited, he didn't wait for the boat to come back in. You know what he did? He jumped out of the boat and he swam to shore to go and see Jesus, because he was so excited he couldn't wait for the boat to go back in. You see that? So what they did after that is Jesus said, "Bring me some fish and bread and we will have breakfast together." So they went off, they got off their boat, and then Jesus made a bonfire. So here we have the bonfire, and all of the disciples came down off the boat and came to enjoy the bonfire. So there they are, and the others are on their way. So they're all coming down off the boat, and they're all coming down to enjoy the bonfire. And you know, Jesus said, Peter had recognized that it was Jesus, and Jesus said, "Come and join us for breakfast." And he broke the bread at breakfast before they ate. And then the disciples truly believed that it was Jesus when they saw him break the bread. And they celebrated because Jesus had shown them and given them a miracle by saying, if you put your net from that side to that side, you will catch so many fish. So what they did is they all knelt down on the beach together around the bonfire, and they all prayed together. So isn't that nice? Apart from the technical difficulties, I hope you enjoyed that story of Jesus and the disciples and how Jesus appeared on the beach and told them to move their net from one side of the boat to the other. And then they caught so many fish, more fish than they could even imagine. In fact, I have the Brick Bible version here, and I'll just show you a couple of pictures in here because these make me chuckle sometimes. Let's see, where are they? So here they are in their boat, and they're not catching anything, and they're getting all upset, and then they see somebody. See in this picture here, they see somebody waving to them on the shore, and then Peter says, "It's Jesus!" And they move their net from one side to the other, and look at all the fish. And on the other page, let me take my sticky note off. On the other side, look at Peter carrying all the fish in. Isn't that fun? And then they all sat around the bonfire. There's Jesus making a bonfire right there. They all sat around the bonfire, broke bread, and said a prayer of thanks to God. So there are many different versions of that story, like the Brick Bible, the story I told you, but it's all the same. It all comes down to the miracles that Jesus performs, and we can be very thankful because Jesus performs miracles in our lives too. He doesn't have to appear on a beach to perform a miracle for us. Just everyday little things. If we take the time to stop and listen and to recognize, like Peter recognized Jesus, if we take that time to stop and take a deep breath and be aware of our surroundings and be aware of all the good things in our lives, then we'll be aware of all the miracles that Jesus does for us. Amen. Well, I'm not going to do the pet of the day because the pet of the day came first because Peep was peeping. So tomorrow we will have our other pet of the day. We will have Cadbury come in and say hello. And tomorrow will be the Engage Cozy Times. I will be reading you a cozy book. Maybe you should all put your pajamas on. That would be fun to have a pajama party. So tomorrow I will see you at 5 o'clock. All right, my boys and girls, I love each and every one of you. Good night and God bless. Cheers.